What happened to ContraPoints? Lindsay Ellis? Ash Hardell? How many other creators, especially political commentators, have dropped off the platform or just pivoted into making other kinds of content? And what's causing this exodus? Many great content creators have come and gone over the years. It seems that those who cover politics and other polarizing social issues are hit the hardest by what I'll call the burden of creation, especially those coming from a progressive or left-leaning position. Covering these topics is difficult in and of itself, since it requires a thorough knowledge of all manner of horrific events happening concurrently. Politicians lie, plans to strip people of their rights and dignity advance. Citizens are exposed to horrific natural disasters and chemical fallout from industrial failures. Everywhere you look in politics, there is death and hatred. On top of all that, the audience is pretty uncharitable, whether it's the political opposition, ridiculing you outright and calling you slurs, or ostensible political allies taking issue with the minutia of policy positions and criticisms of your shared representative candidates. Even creators who do more broad media analysis, like Lindsay Ellis, have been targeted, and it's not particularly mysterious why. Cis women, trans people, and people of color seem to get the worst backlash when stating their opinion. These identities are politicized, no matter what content you create. However, even cis white male creators are susceptible to burnout and have turned to other forms of content or taken hiatus. In an interview discussing why he was leaving The Daily Show, Jon Stewart said,
"Watching these channels, an example, Fox News, all day is incredibly depressing. I live in a constant state of depression. I think of us as turd miners. I put on my helmet, I go and mine turds. Hopefully I don't get turd lung disease."
Many people stay in the politics game for a long time despite these challenges, and I think it's important to look at why people are drawn into this type of analysis in the first place and why they stick with it for so long. For many of us, there is a personal stake in the outcome of these political shifts. Like, as a trans person, I'm deeply concerned for my rights, and I'm moving across the country to avoid continued political persecution. GoFundMe links down below. We know that Black folks are incarcerated and harmed by police at alarming rates, and anyone who can get pregnant is at risk of being denied life-saving healthcare. Just about everyone could be impacted by a climate-related catastrophe, swept away in floods, or simply lacking access to necessary medication in the weeks following these disasters. Just gonna take a sip of my coffee, hold on. With such high personal risk involved, it's hardly surprising that many of us feel desperate to spread the word, to inspire people to action, and maybe even occasionally change minds. And once you get started on a particular subject, like you grow an audience surrounding it, you end up with a financial stake in continuing to talk about it. Your ability to pay your rent depends on it. Content creators, big and small, who built their audience on discussing elections or educating about minority issues, have a difficult time turning a new page on their content. People didn't subscribe for fashion takes or discussions about House of the Dragon, and that means that content performs poorly in the algorithm. You could start a brand new side channel, and many larger creators see some success with this, but you do have to wait for a certain number of subscribers and watch time on that channel before you're going to make any money off of it. So good luck if you're a mid-sized creator trying to start a second channel. I think it's obvious why people get into political content, obvious why they stay in it despite the psychic damage, and at the end of the day, it's obvious why so many people quit. If this has become your job, there is an ever-present pressure to keep doing it, keep researching, keep learning about every new Chevron doctrine level horror. There are only so many ways to say the Supreme Court is gutting our future, and trans women pose no harm to cis women, and police shouldn't execute Black people in the street before you start tearing your hair out in frustration. it makes you feel powerless. It makes you feel small. Watching surgical masks be banned because of pro-Palestine protests at college campuses during massive COVID waves, alongside the never-ending stream of images of cold, still children in the Gaza Strip. I don't know that anything has ever made me feel so thoroughly incapable of affecting change on any kind of large scale. So, like Jon Stewart before me, I'm gonna shake things up and do something different.
If I left the show, I would do what I'm doing. Whether it's stand-up, the show, books, or films, I consider all this just different vehicles to continue a conversation.
I'm moving somewhere climate stable, where I hypothetically won't continue losing rights. I'm gonna start producing food to support my family and my community as food shortages continue to escalate in the coming years of drought and tornadoes and floods and heat waves. And most importantly, for my viewers and for this channel, I'm gonna start producing content that makes me happy, that isn't just incessant, anguished cries for justice, for action, for empathy, damn near every day of the week. So this channel, Musing Moss, is going to be scripted content like this. Channel used to be called Luxander, now it's Musing Moss. Catch up. It's going to include media analysis and thoughtful commentary, and sometimes even is going to be about politics. I'm just going to come at it from a different angle, more in depth, less frequently, and hopefully in a way that is a little bit less repetitive. So instead of reacting live to every new atrocity, I'll be able to take more time to address each issue and in a way that adds value to the conversation instead of only adding emotional drama to already draining topics. My second channel, One Oasis Left, is going to be more vlog style content about homesteady survival skills, gardening, hunting, stuff like that. And through channel memberships and Patreon, you can get sneak peeks, exclusive content, and weigh in on future projects as we're moving into this new phase of, hopefully, creativity and joy. Please engage with the new content by liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing. It is more important now than ever with a big content shift. Yeah, thanks for musing with me, and I hope that you grow peaceful, tenacious, and steady until I see you next time. Before I start to read the patrons out, which is how things usually go around here, just wanted to say, this is my first scripted video, and it's also the first time in a very long time that I have sat down to film something. It's probably gonna take a little bit to find the exact voice of this channel. It's a whole new experience, and I'm a little bit nervous because I don't know if my audience wants to watch scripted content, but that's what we're doing now. Okay, thanks. Thank you so much for your support, Ing Marie, Ali T, Art, Beau E, Haypax Legomanon, Patient Advocate, Tiago Nascimento, Mersh Rolvog, Jack, Sarah A, Michelle Frateroli, Michelle Winter, Wellington Marcus, Danielle McDonald, DZXN, Suzanne Maynard, Ella V Nobody, Jamie Jam, Nova, Athiette, Elizabeth Bartel, Jericho, Desi Quiche, Celeste, Pasnell Infinity, Amanda B, Sojo, Kevin Young, Liam Hodgson, Mr. Atheist, Heather Clarkson, and Bob Simpson.